It is 10:02 a.m. on March 22nd, and we have a quorum here today. All right, so call this meeting to order. Are there any changes to the meeting minutes for December 13th, 2017 meeting? No changes? Okay. All right, then I'll move to approve the meeting minutes for December 13th, 2017. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Oh, and I need to turn those mics on. So what's your number? And, okay. All right. All in favor? Aye. All right, the meeting minutes are approved. Okay. All right, so, all right, the agenda has been color-coded for me, which is always nice. I do like color coding. All right, it looks like we only have the James C. Lowe matter for a preliminary hearing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so let's go forward on that one. That's 2016-0031 in the matter of James C. Lowe and Mr. Lane. That is your case, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay. And is Mr. Lowe or his counsel here?
No, ma'am, he is pro se, and I have not heard from him since he was served.
Okay. All right, go right ahead then.
Sure. Commissioners, you have before you the case of James C. Lowe, 2016-0031. Mr. Lowe's case began on April 11, 2016, excuse me, when we received a complaint from Mr. John Stolzberg. Mr. Stolzberg alleged numerous violations of the Campaign Finance Act. Mainly what he alleged was that a number of Mr. Lowe's campaign contribution disclosure reports during his election year in 2016 were either late or not filed at all. Mr. Lowe was running at that time for the State House 95 district seat, and his declaration of intent for that seat was filed on April 15th, 2016. In reviewing Mr. Lowe's campaign account, we noticed that he had additional violations that need to be alleged, and he was notified by a notice of additional allegations on November 16th, 2017. What he would, and basically that notice of new allegations superseded the complaint and basically redrafted the complaint. We allege that Mr. Lowe violated section 21534C2A when he failed to disclose and file his campaign contribution disclosure reports for March 2016, June 2016, September 2016, October and December of 2016. We also alleged he violated section 21550A1 when he failed to file his personal financial disclosure statement for the preceding calendar year. And we finally alleged 8 different violations of 215-30 subsection G. That violation is that Mr. Lowe began accepting campaign contributions prior to his filing of a declaration of intent to accept campaign contributions. He accepted between March 3rd, 2016 and April 11th, 2016, a total of $8,450. All of those funds would have to be refunded back to contributors as he could not properly receive them. As I previously stated, we've not heard back from Mr. Lowe. He filed no responses, no responsive pleadings. He's been notified of this hearing to date. He was notified in late February of 2018, and that is the case. We recommend that the Commission find reasonable grounds to believe that a violation of the Campaign Finance Act had occurred, or has occurred.
Is he across the street though?
No, and he was unsuccessful.
He was unsuccessful.
He was unsuccessful.
Okay. No problems with notice. Okay. All right, any further discussion? Okay. Then I will make a motion that we find reasonable grounds that James C. Lowe, matter number 2016-0031, violated the Campaign Finance Act. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, any opposed? All right, thank you, Mr. Lane. Okay, so that's it for preliminary hearings, correct?
Yes, ma'am. The matter of Jen Morrison is now considered over. The matter of Marvin Arrington is still a preliminary hearing, but his attorney, Mr. Zimmerman, has a criminal matter starting, I believe, in Cobb County Superior Court. He will not be able to attend today. He has requested a continuance, and I have no objection.
Okay. All right, so,
We need to formally grant that.
I wouldn't get out of it.
yeah, I think we probably do. Let's see. Okay, all right, let's see, is it in our binder?
It should be C. Well, I believe so.
It is.
The continuance?
It's C.
Okay.
He didn't submit a formal continuance.
Oh, he did not?
No, ma'am, but I have confirmed he's got criminal matters.
Okay. All right, then, since he is in court in another matter, a criminal matter, then I will move that the matter of Marvin Arrington Jr., number 2016-0047 PC, be continued to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right. Okay, it is continued. And then it looks like, Ms. Wetzel, the Erica Woodford matter, a continuance is being requested in that one. Is that correct?
Correct, and Mr. Callens is actually here.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
He represents Ms. Woodford.
Okay.
I have mailed a letter in and sent also a letter via email to Ms. Wetzel requesting continuance. Insofar as our firm was recently retained, and also Clerk Woodford had a conflict with appearing this morning. And we also have provided some additional information that resolves most of the issues that were complained about originally.
Fantastic. Well, that's good. So maybe in the interim, maybe you guys can get something worked out. So, okay, then I will move that in the matter of Erica Woodford, 2017-0212 PC, be continued to our next regularly scheduled meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, it is continued. Okie dokie. So now, looking at my color coding, it appears that the rest of them are consent orders. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So, let me make sure. Okay. Okay then. So normally we hear these briefly, correct? I thought so.
And a lot of them you haven't received in advance, so you wouldn't be able to document in mass, so they can't get yesterday. A lot of them.
Okay. All right. Okay then. So we don't need item number 4 right now. So we'll move on to item number 5, which are our consent orders. So because of the way things got shifted around, I'm going to let you all tell us where you are on the agenda and which matter you're going forward with, okay?
Commissioners, if you go to letter A under section 5, in the matter of Joe H. Brown, 2017-0189, you should be able to run through them fairly sequentially.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr. Lane.
In the matter of Joe H. Brown, this case started on August 24th, 2017, when the commission received a complaint from Mr. David Massey. Mr. Massey alleged that Mr. Brown, who's the District 3 County Commissioner for Butts County, failed to file his personal financial disclosure statement for calendar year 2016, a violation of 21.550 subsection A1. A review of Mr. Brown's campaign account showed that he did in fact file that disclosure late. We have imposed a $125 late fee and $100 civil penalty, and Mr. Brown thinks that's fair and is paid in full as of today.
Okay, fantastic. All right, then, I will move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Joe H. Brown Jr., 2017-0189. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, moving on to the next one.
2017-0197 in the matter of Robert Louis Henderson Sr. This case also began on August 24th, 2017, when we received a complaint from Mr. David Massey. Turns out Mr. Henderson is the District 2 County Commissioner for Butts County. Mr. Massey is the self-appointed guardian of all ethics in Butts County and noticed that Mr. Henderson had failed to file his campaign contribution disclosure report for June 30th, 2017, and also late filed his personal financial disclosure statement for the preceding calendar year. Mr. Henderson has since filed those reports, and we imposed a $250 late fee for the 2 reports and a $200 civil penalty. He has paid in full that amount, and as a result, he's closed.
All right. I'll move then that we accept the consent order in the matter of Robert Louis Henderson Sr. That's 2017-0197. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Is it 0191 or 97?
Should be 0191.
Okay, all right, so then,
There's an error within the agenda. It's
All right.
191, not 197.
okay, good catch. Okay, so then it's 2017-0191 in the matter of Robert Louis Henderson Sr. I moved to accept the consent order, and Mr. Evans seconded. And, all right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on then.
The 2016-0037 in the matter of Shandon Adams. This case began on April 21, 2016, when the commission received a complaint from Mr. Lawrence Duckworth. Mr. Duckworth alleged that Mr. Adams, who is the District 5 County Commission candidate for Forsyth County, failed to file a number of his campaign contribution disclosure reports, more specifically his reports for September, October, and December of 2016. This is a little different in that Mr. Adams lost during the primary election, so he did not proceed to the general. And like many candidates, he was not aware that he had to continue filing his campaign contribution disclosure reports as if he had been a successful primary candidate. And that's contained in 21-534-I2. So that's why he owed those 3 reports. He has subsequently filed they're basically 0 reports. And given that fact, that he was an unsuccessful candidate, he's in the same boat most unsuccessful candidates are, we did not impose a civil penalty. We did impose a $375 late fee as required by alteration of law. There are additional facts that militated towards us not imposing a civil penalty. Mr. Adams has suffered a personal bankruptcy. He's also lost the possession of the family home as well. That's one reason we had a hard time tracking him down. So for those reasons, we do not feel he was in a financial position to pay the civil penalty. And that's why we recommend no payment or no imposition of civil penalty.
Okay. All right, and just for the record, I am not aware that Mr. Adams is any relationship to me. So, Adams is a fairly common last name, so, okay.
I don't run into that problem.
No, I'm sure you don't. Still trying to figure out how to pronounce your last name. All right. Okay, then I will make a motion that we accept the consent order in the matter of Chandon M. Adams, case number 2016-0037. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on then to the next matter.
2016-0035 in the matter of Robert Christopher Phelps. Judge Phelps is a Superior Court judge for Elbert County, and we started this case on April 14th, 2016, when Mr. James Carmichael filed a complaint bringing to our notice that Judge Phelps had failed to file his campaign contribution disclosure report for March 31, 2016. He subsequently filed. We imposed a $250 civil penalty and a $125 late fee. He has paid in full as of today.
Okay, fantastic. All right, then I will move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Robert Christopher Phelps, 2016-0035. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on.
In 2017-0237 PC, in the matter of Eric Langston, this is a commission-initiated action that was begun on February 20th, 2018. Mr. Langston was the at-large, or a candidate for the at-large post for the city of Warner Robins, Georgia. Mr. Langston failed to file timely his June 30th, 2017 CCDR, a violation of 21534C2A. He paid a $100 civil penalty and a $125 late fee, and he's paid in full as of today.
Okay, fantastic. All right, then I move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Eric Langston, that is 2017-0237 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on to the next one.
2017-0181 PC in the matter of Tori Tomlinson. It's a little awkward because y'all have already accepted the consent order in this matter. Mr. Tomlinson was one of the gentlemen you heard in December from the city of South Fulton, and he had not executed a consent order. The reason he is on here is because for the better part of 3 months, he was incommunicado and he refused to sign. So I was going to bring him back before y'all to recommend that you revoke the offer and find probable cause and proceed forward. But yesterday he showed up right before the office closed, signed his consent order, and paid his late fee. So there's nothing to adopt. That's why he's still on there. So
Okay,
I
all
don't think
right.
y'all have to take a vote. It's just for y'all's FYI.
Okay, all right.
Since
Since we've already,
You adopted it in December.
right.
I was mildly looking forward to having it revoked, but it will. The next case, Commissioners, is 2017-219 PC in the matter of Cindy Nash. This is also a commission-initiated case that began on February 5th, 2018. Ms. Nash is the current District 3 school board member for Madison County. Ms. Nash failed to file her personal financial disclosure statement for calendar year 2016, a violation of 21550A1. We've imposed a $100 civil penalty and $125 late fee. She paid in full.
Okay, fantastic. Then I will move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Cindy Nash. That's case number 2017-0219 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on.
The next one, Commissioners, is 2017-0217 PC in the matter of Troy K. Alford. I believe we may have a quorum issue.
Yes, I'm going to recuse myself from this case.
Okay. All right, well then, I think probably what we will need to do in that case is have a specially called meeting, a telephonic specially called meeting to adopt the consent order. Nancy, if you'll circulate dates to do that in the next week.
I just have the one. Jenny Morrison, I have to do it. And then Commissioners, the last case that I have is going back up to the preliminary hearings. It's the 2017-0229 PC in the matter of Jane Morrison. This is also a commission-initiated case that began on February 8th, 2018. Jane Morrison is a Fulton County State Court judge. Judge Morrison filed her declaration of intent on May 23rd, 2012, and she failed to file timely her campaign contribution disclosure report for June 30th, 2017, and her personal financial disclosure statement for calendar year 2016. In this case, given her length of service and the fact that she's never had a violation, we became curious as to why all of a sudden she started failing to file reports. It turns out that her spouse passed away about 2 months prior to these reports. So that is one reason why we did not impose a civil penalty. We are recommending no civil penalty. She has paid in full the late fees of $250, The reason we're not recommending the waiver of the late fees is because more than a year passed from that time period when she was notified of the late fees, and she was non-responsive. It actually required us going to the Fulton County State Court to kind of resolve it. So that's one of the reasons we're recommending the late fee remain. But we don't feel that the civil penalty would be appropriate, so we've recommended it be waived.
Okay, all right. I'll move then that we accept the, is it consent order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the consent order in the matter of Jane Morrison, that's case number 2017-0229 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, all right.
You're good.
Okay, Commissioners, we're now at letter I in section 5, 2017-0226 PC in the matter of Bert Bibbins III. Mr. Bibbins is a longtime Macon-Bibb County Commissioner. However, even though he has had a long service, he kind of neglected his filing responsibilities in the last couple of years. In total, he filed 6 campaign contribution disclosure reports late, and he filed 2 personal financial disclosure reports late. As soon as he received the notice from the commission that the original notice that he failed to file the reports and that he owed late fees, he filed the reports. However, he did not pay the late fees. Therefore, it was sent to us to collect the late fees by initiating a complaint. So in total, he had 8 violations. He has paid $1,000 in late fees, and he has paid a $100 civil penalty.
Okay, all right, then. I move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Bert Bibbins III, case number 2017-0226 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I just didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I said aye.
Okay.
You lose anyway.
Spice things up a little bit.
You're sorry. We're now at J, 2017-0222 PC in the matter of Joe Oscar Allen. This is another Macon-Bibb County Commissioner who is a longtime commissioner. In total, he had 6 violations. He filed 4 campaign contribution disclosure reports late and filed 2 personal financial disclosure reports late. His situation was interesting in that before we even sent him a notice, he had already filed the late reports, but he had failed to pay the late fees. Therefore, no civil penalty was recommended because all the reports were filed before the actual notice was sent, which was prior to the complaint being issued. He's paid $750 in late fees, and that is it.
Okay, all right, then. I will move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Joe Oscar Allen, case number 2017-0222 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on.
All right, moving on to letter K. This is case number 2017-02228 PC. Ms. West is another longtime member, except this time of the Bibb County Board of Education. She filed 6 CCDRs late and 2 PFDSs late. 2 of her CCDRs were from 2013, and she has never filed them. Therefore, a $500 civil penalty is recommended, and she's paid $1,000 in late fees. She's actually already paid the full amount. And in total, she had 8 violations. She filed 6 campaign contribution disclosure reports late and 2 personal financial disclosure reports late.
Okay. All right, then I will move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Wanda Smith West, case number 2017-0228 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
We're now at letter L, 2015-0022 in the matter of Chatham County Republican Party. This complaint was filed by Clint Murphy in June 2015. At that time, he filed a complaint against the Skidway Island Republican Club and the Chatham County Democratic Party. What Mr. Murphy alleged is that the Chatham County Republican Party failed to file multiple campaign contribution disclosure reports, and that they failed to include expenditures and contributions as required by the law. After investigating the complaint and looking at the bank records and what was filed by the Chatham County Republican Party, only 2 of those allegations were substantiated. The Chatham County Republican Party only filed 2 CCRs that were late, and they also registered their political party as a PAC late in 2002. Further investigation also revealed that they actually did in fact disclose all contributions and expenditures correctly after comparing the bank records with the campaign contribution disclosure reports that they did file. Therefore, they have agreed to pay $250 in late fees and a $200 civil penalty for those violations.
Okay. All right. Then I move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Chatham County Republican Party, case number 2015-0022. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
All right, we're at letter M, 2017-0214 PC in the matter of Benjamin W. Pruitt. Mr. Pruitt is a McDonough City Council member, and he failed to file a PFDS that was due July 1st of 2017 on time. He actually thought there was a grace period, so he filed on the 6th, which coincides with when the June 30th CCDR grace period ends. He wanted me to make clear that it was not intentional or in any way to thwart transparency. So his case was interesting in that he received the green card, but he refused service, and then he paid the late fee afterwards, and then we resent it by UPS. Therefore, we've styled this as a compliance order. He's already paid the late fee, and those are the terms of the compliance orders, that you pay the late fee and you won't do it again.
Okay. I have it as a consent order in my binder.
Is it styled as a compliance order?
It's styled as a consent order.
So the one is that one signed?
Yes.
Okay, well, should have changed. And I can change the,
Yeah, it says consent order.
okay, well, if it's okay with you, I will change the title page of the order to compliance order.
Well, it actually also says consent order in the body.
Okay, well, I can change that as well.
Okay.
And it doesn't really matter, actually, because they're really the same thing.
What is the difference?
People like to have a compliance order instead of a consent order.
They like the name.
They like the name better. There's really no difference.
In
They
practice,
like compliance better than consent.
the practical difference is we generally only style in the compliance order if there are no penalties imposed at all. It's basically a normal consent order with no civil penalty, no late fee.
Right, he had a late fee, this one.
So if he's having a late fee, it's fine to call it a consent order, because if you're imposing a monetary penalty of some variety, we call it a consent order under law.
It made him feel better.
You signed it. I was gonna say you signed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fine, we'll just,
Yeah, I think, okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the consent order
okay.
as presented. In the matter of Benjamin Pruitt, case number 2017-0214 PC. Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, if he needs.
Well,
We
I
are moving-
sent him to, I originally sent him a consent order, and then I emailed him a compliance order. He printed off the wrong one. That's his truth.
You signed it.
He signed it, so
Signed it.
that's what I'm saying. He chose to sign the one that's a
He can
consent order,
always
even though we
ask
talked
Robert.
about.
And
Yeah,
make
he
it
may
like
have
it.
changed his mind and decided that he liked the words consent order better than compliance order.
Who knows?
And
We
we
spoke
have-
yesterday.
We've adopted the consent order,
The
so,
case is closed.
And if he doesn't like it, he can always ask Robert to reconsider it.
that's right. Okay, moving on.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Letter N, 2017-182 PC in the matter of Corey Allen Reeves. Mr. Reeves was a candidate for the city of South Fulton City Council. This was after the city gained cityhood last year. and they had a special election. He's already paid $125 late fee. Their filing schedule is different when there's a special election, so it can be kind of confusing, especially for first-time candidates. He's paid the $125 late fee, and he's agreed to pay a $50 civil penalty.
Okay. All right, then I move that we accept the consent order in the matter of Corey Allen Reeves, case number 2017-0182 PC. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay, anything else?
And then the last case is, if you go back up to section 3 to letter D, it's 2017-0218 PC Vicky G. Decker, and she's a member of the Effingham Board of Education, and she has a similar situation to Mr. Alford.
Okay, so are you gonna need to recuse?
I will recuse myself.
Okay. All right, so then let's move that one to our special called meeting, our telephonic specially called meeting to vote on those. Okay? All right. Anything else on
There's-
items 3 and 5?
Nothing
No.
else.
Okay. Okay, then. So I spoke yesterday briefly with Mr. Ritter. He is ill, very ill with the flu. I'm very grateful that he is not here spreading his germs. Although we will miss him, and we do miss him, I'm glad he's home convalescing as he should be. So we're at item number 6, report of the executive secretary. Are either one of you going to present that on his behalf?
The only thing I have to disclose is there's an administrative dismissal summary. It's not an entirely official administrative dismissal. It is 2017-215 PC against Mr. Danny Ray Brennan. And the reason I say it's not official administrative dismissal is we began the case, but he was not properly served by the time he actually paid his late fee and filed all of his reports that were outstanding. And it's generally our common practice that if you pay your late fee and everything's filed, we don't file a case against you. So basically, we suspended prosecution and closed out the case since it never officially began against him because of lack of service. So
Okay,
it's not, that's why I say it's not a real administrative dismissal, but basically it's never been a prosecution.
okay,
And as far as the update on collections, the main movement we've had is we've had a number of cases that have closed due to liens that have been placed on individuals. The liens are actually being paid. A number of individuals started selling their homes because the market's turned around and we were getting, I call it mailbox money, we're getting $3,000, $5,000 civil penalties from the closing attorneys. So a number of those are closing out. And then as far as what we were doing at the commission, we had a number of audits that the commission initiated, about 230 audits. 215 of those, the people are perfectly fine and will be hearing from us saying thank you for doing a good job, way to go. And then the remainders will be coming before you with their actual PC hearings. And then of course our auditing of major candidates, which I believe Mr. Ritter talked to you about last December, is proceeding apace and you should be seeing some results from those by the next meeting.
okay,
That's about it.
all right. So if Mr. Ritter has anything he needs to add, then I'm okay with adding that to the agenda for the specially called telephonic meeting. Are you two gentlemen okay with that?
That makes sense.
Okay, all right, so let's do that. Thank you for that brief update, Mr. Lane. Okay, Mr. Fuller, we are now to you, Attorney General's update on cases. Let me turn you on first.
16.
Okey dokey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few brief updates. We've received since December 2 decisions from OSA on 2 old 2016 cases, one involving Irby Allen Metters and the other Christopher G. Nicholson. And just by quick refresher, Mr. Metters had failed to pay some late fees that he owed as a lobbyist, and Mr. Nicholson had a variety of failing to file timely disclosure reports and declarations of intent to raise money prior to receiving contributions. Both OSA decisions have affirmed this commission's initial offer to both of those folks. So And I believe the timing of them at this point for both of them, just by operation of law, those decisions have become final. And I'll leave it to Mr. Ritter on how he wants to coordinate y'all's official approval of that. And neither, at least as of this meeting, have filed any petitions for judicial review. So as far as I'm concerned, once it's officially adopted by this commission, the cases can be sent to our collections folks for recovery of those two fines. I've been making some efforts on a case involving Mike Boudreau. I believe he's a failed Senate candidate from out of Gwinnett County. He is represented, and I've had a chance to speak with his lawyer on a couple of occasions. It looks like that case will end up resolving with a consent order. His lawyer, I think, has been able to talk some reason into Mr. Boudreau about pursuing allegations in court. And then the last the update I've got, before I get to the last one, I have been moving on a couple of the other cases that have been in the office by just reaching out to the respective persons who owe money. A vast majority of them are pro se, and I spoke with one gentleman, Mr. Chastain. I can't remember his first name. Daniel Chastain. I'll just say he doesn't have email, doesn't have fax, only has a house phone. You gotta, mail it to a certain address at a certain time. So I'm running into a lot of that with trying to coordinate getting paperwork to and from folks. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, but nothing that can't be overcome. So it's delaying a little bit, but. And then lastly, the update with the John Oxendine matter. Currently, we're sort of in a holding pattern right now as the first starting with the federal case that I updated you guys on last meeting. Right now, both sides have filed appropriate motions, and on our side, we filed a motion to dismiss on behalf of everybody, all the commission, as well as the board members individually. We're awaiting a ruling from the court on that motion. And then on the state side, they have sought direct appeals to the Supreme Court, but both their direct and their discretionary applications have been remanded back to the Court of Appeals for the Supreme Court saying that they lacked jurisdiction on a constitutional issue. So we're awaiting the Court of Appeals to take action on those cases. So as soon as there are any updates, I will inform everyone of that, but just waiting on others to do their part in the process. So those are the only updates I have.
Okay. All right, any questions for Mr. Fuller? Okay, all right, fantastic. All right, and we do have some people here today. So do we have any comments from the public? Okay. All right, you'll just, podium is fine. All right, you'll just tell us who you are.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members.
Hang on, let me turn your, hold on. Podium mic. Okay, there you go. Now.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the commission. I come to you today with your help in helping me resolve an ongoing issue with the commission. I've been in contact with the commission, including several members of the commission, including the executive director, since February 5th. I'm currently listed in error as a lobbyist non-filer.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm sorry, my name is Elmer Stansel.
Okay,
I'm with Denton's in the public policy practice. I am a registered lobbyist. I have been since September with Denton's. And I'm currently listed as a lobbyist non-filer in 27 separate occurrences with the commission on the non-filer database. These are due apparently to an error with the commission, and I am just asking your help in having this resolved and having me removed from this listing. I believe that it openly questions my integrity as well as the firm and the clients that I represent. So thank you for your time and thank you for your help in this matter.
Thank
Be
you.
glad to answer any questions.
You have a question?
No, I just, to the extent you want to share it, I mean, what type of substantive conversations have you had with the commission at this point about the error?
Several conversations. My assistant who files my reports has had several conversations at the staff level. I have sent an email to Mr. Ritter, as well as several other people at the department asking for their help in resolving this matter, and have received one response from them, but the filings haven't been corrected.
So I'm going to, thank you for coming today, first of all. I will give you the same directive that we gave someone else who had a matter before us. And I'm blanking on his name. It's with Hall Booth.
Brad Carter.
Brad Carver, yes, thank you. So I gave the same directive to Mr. Carver. It's your responsibility, not your assistant's responsibility. And so if you need to make sure, what?
This is a different situation.
It's a different situation, okay. But still though, if you're the registered lobbyist, you have to be the one making sure that your filings are
Yes,
filed.
ma'am. Yes,
So-
ma'am. And I do that. I was responding to the communication that I've had with the commission. My assistant has had communication with his commission as well as myself.
Right.
I am ultimately responsible for
Right.
my filings.
Right.
That's why I'm in front of you.
Right, okay, just making sure, because I thought you had said your assistant who makes your filings for you, so.
Correct, but I'm ultimately responsible
Correct.
for the filings. Yes, ma'am.
Correct. So just want to make sure that is clear, you know. So, okay, that's the directive I have, that's all.
My question, you know, I was on moderated panel this week, and one of the judges said the first sentence I want all of my advocates to say when they come before me is, "What do you want me to do?" So I see what you're saying, but what exactly what are you requesting the commission to do?
I'm asking you to look into this matter, and if there is in fact an error, which I believe is the case, I would hope that it would be resolved and I would be removed from this non-filer list. I believe that it's very evident that I am not a late filer, but I'm listed on this public list, which calls into question my ability and my integrity as a professional to accurately file my reports to the commission.
Okay, Ms. Wetzel?
We have received communication from Mr. Sanzelin. Mr. Ritter is aware of the issue, and our IT person is working on it. We had some fires come up with some other programming issues during filing after qualifying, and this is something that we are actively working on and trying to figure out how to get this off. It's not that we're not working on it, we are.
Okay.
There are actually two lists, Commissioners. There's one where it shows late fees, and Mr. Stansel does not appear on that list as owing late fees because they have all been inactivated because the computer system created an error. But there's a separate search function if you're on the public-facing website, where if you search by name, it'll say this lobbyist has late or non-filed reports. That's the issue we're trying to have removed. So it's one of the two lists has been corrected.
And these reports are from 2006.
That was actually going to be my question, so how far
Right.
back do they go?
It's just in the years 2006 and 2007.
Okay.
So nothing current.
Am I hearing then, and maybe this is premature for us at this
Right,
point, but
seems like it is.
is there a dispute at this point about whether this gentleman should actually be on the list?
No, we're trying to remove those reports. We're actively trying to remove the reports.
Okay, I was just trying to get clarity. I didn't know if this was something that was actually
Yeah,
a case in its genesis
Right.
that was, going to
No, sir,
come before us.
No, sir, I came to you with your help because it has not been resolved since I've been communicating with the commission since February 5th. And because of the urgency of I feel I'm listed on this, placed on this list incorrectly, and it questions my professional integrity, which is important as lobbyists here at the Capitol.
So it sounds like there's no dispute, it just is a matter of administratively removing you from the list and you're
Okay,
changing.
I have not received that. I've only heard that in communication with Ms. Wetzel this morning.
Sounds like we're working on it.
Thank you.
Okay, fantastic, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Bringing that kind of thing to our attention.
All right, anyone else have public comment? Okay, all right then, it appears as if we are going to need to have a telephonic meeting, so Nancy, if you will take care of making sure we get that on the books soon.
Okay.
Other than that, do we have anything else that we need to discuss? This may be the fastest commission meeting ever. All right, then I move that we adjourn at 10:48 on March 22nd. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Most of the time.